Hey guys, we're Belinda95, recording live from your local county prison cell. I gotta admit, I'm doing these sillier matchups really to sort of break up this fucking dismal month I've been having is really working. So I'm gonna keep this going basically up until Mega Man Astro Boy comes out, because to be honest, I mean, Astro Boy is to be taken seriously, but, the cartoon was, for a lot of intentions, supposed to be sort of silly, so I guess it's sort of fitting with that, too. So, I'm gonna go ahead and have another silly matchup that I think can probably work better than the last one I did. This is going to be Perry the Platypus versus Secret Squirrel. Wait, something's missing. Ah. There we go. That's how. Now, I can properly go into this fight. So, Perry the Platypus, okay, right, I'm not gonna do, like, an analysis here, I'm just gonna point out things, because, I mean, can I really break down these two characters? Mainly because their backstories are somewhat of an enigma. Really hard to break them down. But so I'm gonna have to go just for a feel of this fight. Now, when we look at it, even if we're not talking time period wise, Secret Squirrel is definitely a veteran in the intelligence agency, so, or in his case, the I.S.S. Perry is more of the right now, best guy they have at the moment. But Secret Squirrel's definitely been in this game for a while. He's a world-traveled veteran, he's, been to all these different places. His sidekick wears a fez. This guy's really got something going for him. But Perry, is the guy that's he's the young and right now sort of guy. He's the up and comer. He's the guy that everyone's throwing in everywhere. He's the guy right now at the time. So we got to look at it that way. Do we go with the promising rookie, the next big thing, or do we go with the cagey, wild guy who's been around the block a few times? Not to mention, Perry more often than not goes into his missions empty-handed. He just goes in by himself and picks things up as he gets there. Whereas Secret Squirrel has been known to carry around, just as the essentials, many different gadgets. Boxing glove in his hat, for instance. A machine gun cane. Multiple different types of gadget-based guns in his jacket that he wears all the time. His trench coat. So we've got a guy who's very resourceful and can turn anything he wants really into a weapon, and we've got a guy who's packing. We've got a guy who's completely strapped and can just pull anything he wants out of anywhere at any point. So that's a hard thing that's a hard thing to really talk about, I guess. Not to mention, not only is Secret Squirrel definitely a world-traveled veteran, but he also has experience with several different types of bad guys. I mean, he does have an arch enemy, but he's used to fighting many, many different people on several different occasions. Perry literally fights just Dr. Doofenshmirtz. He fights the same guy every time, and it's, how can I mean, that's not a broad, he's fought him under varying circumstances, but he's fought the same guy over and over. He doesn't have a lot of versatility to his repertoire, really. So I gotta say, So right off the bat, I mean, if this is just hand-to-hand, we're talking, Perry's got this. I mean, Perry, like I said, he's younger, he's got more spring in his step, and, you know, Secret Squirrel generally is a reconnaissance, espionage, take action when you need to sort of agent, whereas Perry is just, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna take down Doofenshmirtz, and I'm gonna save the day. Which, again, is sort of a result of him being a younger, more brash agent, you know, but, you know, that it gets the job done. He's a loose cannon, but he saves the day, and that's really what matters at the end. But, so Secret Squirrel's not really used to doing anything hand-to-hand, because he carries a lot of guns with him, so we're talking a guy. But then again, Perry has had to deal with, you know, weaponry and artillery before. He's had to deal with death rays. He's had to deal with killer robots. So, I mean, maybe he's got something, maybe, you know, some machine guns, some gas guns, some boxing glove hats. Maybe those won't really throw him for a loop as much as we'd like to think. But that's the interesting part of this. It's really hard to count either of these two out. You know, they've got very good track records. Downside, I mean, I would say, though, if we were talking about history and feats, Perry usually takes out Doofenshmirtz in very short periods of time, like 15, 20-minute intervals. Whereas Secret Squirrel, you know, he goes on, he'll end up going through an all-day thing. He'll be like, you know, he'll be fighting a guy for like a day at a time. You know, he'll go running down the street chasing the guy if he has to. You know, he takes all day doing his job, and Perry's able to get his done, and, like, you know, boom. Right off the bat. Oh, kicked him in the face? Okay, it's over, you know? Like, but I'm gonna say, I do have to say, stat-wise, it is building up to Secret Squirrel winning this. I do think Secret Squirrel is going to take this. I just have the luxury of this time doing these silly fights that both of these series are probably not getting a comeback at any point. Phineas and Ferb was popular, but it got canceled. It ended. Secret Squirrel ended like 40-something years before that. So, you know, I'm pretty sure these are where it's at. Whereas last time, as soon as I fucking made that video, they announced I found out that there was gonna be a Kung Fu Panda 3, so, you know, whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Secret Squirrel. I am gonna go ahead and go with him. I mean, Perry obviously wouldn't have knowledge of him beforehand. He is a rival agent. He is of a different company, a different intelligence agency. And, you know, he probably wouldn't know much about him, and I think Secret Squirrel would like to keep it that way throughout most of the fight. He'd like to keep his surprises as surprises until he needs to use them. Yeah, and again, he's got the experience factor. He's got the factor of diversity when it comes to experience. He generally comes more prepared for a confrontation than Perry does, despite the fact that, ironically, Perry always ends up getting into a confrontation, whereas Secret Squirrel, he's just supposed to be espionage. He's not supposed to get into a confrontation, but yet he's fully equipped, and somehow Perry, who literally just gets sent in to fight somebody, never brings any weaponry with him. I mean, aside from the occasional laser beam or something, but, I mean, you gotta imagine that Secret Squirrel's more equipped than that. Plus, not to mention, Perry, despite the fact that he always gets out of it, always gets himself captured by Doofenshmirtz. Every time he gets put into a trap. He never seems to be able to avoid getting put into a trap. He always gets into a trap and then escapes. And he knows it's coming. He knows the setups. It's the same setup every time, but yet he always gets into a trap. He always gets caught. So, I mean, it couldn't be too difficult for a wily, cagey veteran such as Secret Squirrel to be able to, get this guy into a favorable position. So I am going to go with Secret Squirrel on this day, on this encounter. So, yeah. Agent P has met his match, gotta say. But anyway, yeah, so next week I'll be doing one of these, hopefully before Mega Man Astro Boy, and then, yeah, I'll just do the video of whoever is fighting next after Mega Man Astro Boy, if they announce it. I mean, they said that they were only doing, what, 55 episodes, and Mega Man Astro Boy is episode 55, so, I mean, that would be an interesting thing to end Season 2 on, especially since we were all expecting Galactus Unicron, unless they just decided to extend it, in which case, I don't care. I don't have any complaints with them extending it. I don't care if they jump right into Season 3. I mean, honestly, as long as if we're getting content, I really don't have any room to complain, so yeah. Anyway, but Verbal Engine 95, see ya.